maybe we'll do this for a moment. Let's turn on some overhead lights so we can all get a good look at what we've got happening over there. I see, and I'm going to tell you, Rob, what I'm seeing, and you tell me if I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. I see a tree in the foreground, and I see in the background what looks to me like a forest fire. I see some fiery sort of flames and a lot of smoke coming up and a lot of things like that, and a kind of a bluish purple haze that's coming over everything. Am I seeing what I'm supposed to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us what we've got here, and tell us what how we conclude all of this.
Well, I guess I would start out with a little background on the book of James and in 1 Peter, where my text is from. Sorry? About 10 years prior to the destruction of the temple in Israel, both of these letters were written in James and in 1 John. And there was a strife between the Romans at that time and the Jews, and it was worse for the Christians that were Jews. So if you were Jewish and you were Christian, you got it from both sides. The Romans were hunting you, the Jews were hunting you, and you were a wanted person. Both James and Peter were dead before the destruction of the temple. And they wrote these books, and they understood something. And the pine cone that is not actually in this drawing right now, but implied, I suppose, illustrates this very well. James, the servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trial of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like the wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let not that man think that he shall receive anything from the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich that he is made low. For as the flower of grass, he shall pass away. First Peter starts out about the same way. It says, Peter, an apostle, to the strangers scattered abroad in Asia, greetings to the... Anyway, they're in several regions. He talks about Jesus and about the shedding of the blood of Christ. He talks about the resurrection of Jesus, and then he says, wherein ye greatly rejoice. Though now for a season, if need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptations. The trial of your faith, being much more precious than gold, though it be tried with fire, might be found in the praise and the honor and the glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. There are about 15 million square miles of forest on this earth. The only place you can find this particular pine tree that we're talking about tonight is in the upper northwest. It has not real attractive features, but it has a very unique property that no other tree in the region has. It has a pine cone. It's named after its pine cone, the knob cone pine tree. This pine cone is like a little fortress for its seeds. It is just covered with layers of resin, natural resin. They're rather large. They typically hang out around collars along the trees and the branches along the superstructure of the pine tree. These pine cones will remain closed for up to 100 years. And they will not open unless the conditions are just right. Some pine cones will open on a hot day. These pine cones will remain closed unless the temperature exceeds 200 degrees. The only time you find 200 degrees in a forest is when there is a forest fire. During the forest fire, the cone will actually open during the forest fire, exposing the seeds to what you would think would be destruction. A gas seeps out of the pine cone during the fire, and it shields the seeds from the flames. After the fire has passed, the seeds will fall to the ground after the pine cone finishes opening. What an amazing idea that God put in creation something so amazing and something so unlikely out of a tree. Both Peter and James were telling us. James says, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. Count it joy. James says to look at this trial in a life of a Christian as something that is refining them in a way that if that fire was not there, the life would not be the same. Those pine seeds fall down on earth that has been prepared by fire. New life comes in the life of that entire forest because of the fire that comes on this tree. So turn your eyes on Jesus and off of the flames. Trust God that He will work in your life, a work that will make you beautiful at the time of His appearing. The fire of the trial will, through faith, prepare the ground of your heart for new life that will not exist otherwise.
Is this the moment when you want to turn off some lights?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'd like to have every light in this room go off, every single light. There's something more that we're going to see in this picture that maybe wasn't apparent right at first. I've got some lights up in front that need to be unplugged. We're going to get every single one of these off. I still got some lights right here in front. I've got one more up in front, two more. Ah, there we go. Let's see what we can do now. Rob, what do you have?
All right.
Oh, there's something else there. Rob, I wonder if you would take your microphone back and, in a sentence or two, tell us what we're looking at.
This is a pine cone. Down here you have just the embers of what is left of what was the fire.
The embers of the fire.
And you have just a seedling up there with a pine cone that is fully open.
So out of the ashes of that trial opens up a new seed for something that is really beautiful and is going to grow again. Did I get this right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And here we have something where the Bible tells us that we can consider trials and hardships of all kinds something we can rejoice in because God has designed something to be good in our lives as well. Rob, thank you very, very much.